I'm not financially free yet. I'm still in the reset. But I'm no longer living in the way that kept me financially anxious or financially overwhelmed like before. You see, a lot of us are financially overwhelmed, whether we choose to believe it or not. Okay. For me, it started, I was a bit anxious here and there, but when my daughter's medication became like a daily necessity, my whole life went into panic mode. Not because I didn't work hard, no. Not because I was irresponsible, no. But because I kept making money decisions based on fear. Now, this is not just another budgeting video. This is about the financial reset that I'm still living through. And honestly, I wish I'd started years ago. Stay with me. Hi, I'm Miss Muthathi and welcome to my channel. I talk about personal finance, money, building wealth, life, without pretending everything is just easy, because it's not. If this is your first time here, please subscribe, like, comment, share, and turn on notifications bell so that you're notified every time I upload another new video. Now, the financial reset that I wish I started earlier. I'll start with the key principles. 1. Emergency preparedness isn't about income. It took me some time to learn this. I came to learn later in life that it's about systems. Okay? Without a system, you're not prepared, especially for emergencies. And when I talk about systems, I'm talking about systems that don't collapse under pressure. Because you can think you have a system and something big happens and your system is broken or it's not working or it collapses. Another key principle is fear is expensive. I came to learn that most of the smart decisions that I thought I was making, I made them because I was in panic mode or because I was afraid. And then over time, this just drained my finances. I learned the hard way that more income doesn't fix bad financial habits. It doesn't fix broken habits. It just gives you, or it gives your fear or that anxiety a bigger budget to work with. So no matter how much money you have and you're coming from fear or anxiety, you're budgeting from fear and anxiety, you still lose money. So I came to learn that first of all, I needed to fix my habits, my financial habits. The core realization was that it wasn't lack of income. It was the fear that I had or the anxiety that I was going through that was controlling all of my money decisions. And now you see things like emergencies or my daughter's medication bills, something like that. These things, they don't care whether you're having a good day in business or a bad day. She has to have her medication every day. Her medication doesn't care whether I made money that day or I didn't. That's my problem. And now, because I hadn't fixed my issues, where I was coming from. Because I hadn't fixed my bad financial habits. Every emergency felt like a disaster because at that moment I had no systems. Yeah, all I had was reaction. I could just react. No system in place. Now, living in financial fear, of course, cost me at some point. One of the ways it cost me is, for instance, I found myself buying equipments, small machinery, small machines, out of fear of missing opportunities. So I spent money on things that I didn't need. I started different businesses, fearing I'd stay broke. And we all know you can't run many businesses all at once. So this is me telling you, I was out here, chasing every shiny object. Shiny solutions. Thinking that it would save me. At that point, I didn't know I was just losing money. Do you know when you start a business, there's a lot of money. And then this business doesn't work, you lose a lot of money. At that moment, every decision I made felt like it was a logical one. But when I put everything together, the machines I bought, the businesses I started, all of it was just draining me. It was draining my finances. Together, they drained everything. Of course, it came to a point where I knew I had to come up with a plan. Now, the plan versus the system trap. To be honest, when you're hungry, when you're anxious, when you're afraid, you'll have so many ideas, business ideas out, You'll think of so many things. Digital businesses, non-digital businesses, investments. You actually don't rest. Personally, I had ideas weekly. Me, if you're ever looking for business ideas, I'll give you business ideas. But I thank God I came to a point where it's either I'm growing what I have right now or I'm not starting anything new, period. But before I got to that point, I was spoiled for choice. I couldn't know if, let's say, if I decided to do digital businesses or to go online. I didn't know if I should start with courses. I was just spoiled for choice and lost at the same time. So I was always starting new things. And I love that. I came to realize that's something I thrive at. Starting new things. I'm very good at that. But I was rarely building anything. And that is where the problem was. Because now, let's say I've bought a small machine. Maybe, for example, an egg incubator. What do I do with it in an apartment? It doesn't make any sense, right? Just in case I move back to upcountry, I can use it. But you see, that machine seated there, that's money. That could have been making me more money someplace else. Or I could have invested in another way. So I wasn't building wealth like I thought when I was buying these machines. I was just busy out here collecting unfinished ideas. And there's so many of us out there. I'm sure it's not just me. You start a project, you leave it like that. You buy a plot of land, somewhere in Gilgil, somewhere in Meru, Maldindi, places you don't even live. And then you come back, you continue life here, your money is seated somewhere, it's not making more money for you, it's just there. So there's many of us who do those things. And when you look at it, most of these decisions, we made them out of fear. Or because we were anxious about something. That's still financial anxiety. Now, I'll share with you the one rule that changed everything for me. And this is, I stopped making quick, rational decisions. Immediate decisions, I stopped. I don't make expensive, immediate decisions. So I started sleeping on purchases, whether big or small. I have to wait for at least 48 hours. Sometimes I can even go a week. I also can think about it for a whole month. I'm no longer in a hurry. If something can wait, let it wait. Before I buy any other machine, I research thoroughly. Before I invest in anything, I do research. I don't just do things because of hearsay. I don't invest just because someone online told me invest here. No, I do thorough research. Another thing I had to teach myself, and I'm so proud of it, is permission to say no. Because believe me, there's always going to be new ideas out here. Okay? And you can't say yes to everything. And this is because when you say yes to everything, that's how you find yourself. You're in Nairobi, you have land in Malindi, you have land in Narok, you have land in Meru, and you're not even into farming, you're not into real estate. So at the end of the day, yes, you have this land, but it's not even helping you in any way. It's not building wealth for you. You've just accumulated a few properties here and there that don't bring you money. And problem is, when it comes to even disposing these things, it becomes a problem. Finding a buyer takes a lot of time. So I learned to say no. Even if the land is very prime or whatever is in Malindi, I have no business there. So no. If there's a nice machine, ice cream making machine, it costs roughly 50,000 Kenya shillings. I used to find that that is affordable. That's something I can, buy just in case something happens. Now I say no. Okay? And the moment I started following these rules, and most especially saying no, giving it like a 48-hour waiting period, time to think about it, is that most purchases or most of the things that I thought were very important or I needed to buy at that moment, that need disappeared. Or if it didn't disappear, something new replaced that need, that void, of which still, this new thing, I still gave it time. Another big thing that really, really helps me is minimalism. I started practicing minimalism, and as you all know, I'm very serious when it comes to budgeting. I started teaching myself how to become content with less. I never used to be like that. I used to be like most people. You want the best car, you want to live in the best estate, you want your children to go to the most expensive school, you want, you end up killing yourself to reach for things that you necessarily don't need. So I started teaching myself, and I prayed for that. Actually, I asked God to help me be content with what it is that I have. Not to say that I hate nice things. Don't confuse the two. It means if I can be able to buy a nice car right now, I'll be content with that nice car. But remember, as we keep on living, there's better things that are, people keep manufacturing nice cars, better, It doesn't mean I keep hopping with the new trends. No, I be content with what it is that I have. Okay? As long as I'm not struggling. So that I don't find myself in this cycle, where lifestyle is just creeping up on me. So, I taught myself how to become content with less. I try to own less, buy less, and need less. When you find me out there doing shopping, whether groceries or whatever, I do it with a shopping list. And this helps me so much because it ensures, because I write the shopping list at home, it ensures I don't forget the most important things. And this means if something is not on the list, I don't need it. Which helps me walk past impulse items. Okay? In short, it got to a point I found peace with enough. Right now, I can tell you exactly what I need for me to retire or to live happily. There's people, they have the resources, they have the money, they have the best jobs, and they don't even know how much enough or what is, they can't describe enough for themselves. And this is so sad because you'll always be out here grinding. Because you've never defined what enough means to you or what enough is to you. I found peace in enough. Another thing that really helped me was to reset my circles. Okay? And this is because some friendships out here, if you're not careful, they quietly cost you money. Pana. Me, there's friendships, I'll just put an X to it. I will not do it. Especially these friendships that are not balanced. I'm the one who's just removing money from my pocket. Even if this friend comes through for anything, it doesn't equate to the weight I'm lifting. No. I will not do that. So it means these pressures that come with friendships, to eat out, to dine out, the pressures to keep up, because they are driving this, I should try and, even if it's to get a loan, so I can go get a better car. When this one I have is completely paid for, I'm not doing that. Okay? The pressures that come with attending constant events, I'm not doing that. Because let's face it, all these things come at a price. And it's mostly you'll attend these things with your friends, costing you money at the end of the day. Why can't you find something that is not as expensive and you guys can enjoy? And that's why I say birds of the same feather flock together. Look for people who think like you. So I look for friends who think like me. It's not easy, but if you find one person who thinks like you, or who is at that point of life where you are, mwenye yuko kwa mbio za sakafuni, great. That's how I reset my circle. I'm very careful about the people I hang out with. I pay attention to what people say. I look at how you spend your money. Is the math balancing? The amount of money coming in and whatever is going out. If you don't do that math for you, I'll look at you and do it for you. And if I see we can't help each other, for you is hand to mouth, you're okay with living paycheck to paycheck, I can't learn anything from you. It doesn't matter how big your car is. It doesn't matter even if you're living in a posh estate. Because I know eventually if you get fired, you'll become a liability to me as your friend. I don't want that. Okay? So, check your friends. I checked my friends and I had to reset my circle. Okay? I started prioritizing stuff instead of reacting. Because I used to react. I was a queen of reaction. But it's because I didn't know how to prioritize stuff. Okay? But now I know better. So things go in order of priority. For example, there's needs. Okay? Medication also comes in that bracket of needs. So there's medication, rent, then my businesses, then my savings, my investments. After all that is covered, then everything else can fall in place. But before my needs are covered, so this is what I ask myself. Before I do anything, I ask myself, is this a need? Whether for me, my daughter, or for my businesses, or for my investments. Okay? I ask, is this a need? Or is fear making me consider it? Is fear making it urgent while it's not? Now, the reset is still ongoing. I haven't gotten to where I want to be financially. This means I still have goals. Okay? I still have difficult months. And I still have bills. That's why I say the reset is still ongoing. I still want more income. But the great thing right now is that I don't panic like I used to. Okay? I'm not coming from an anxious place financially. And to me, That's progress. Here is what I wish I had known earlier. That money isn't just numbers. It's habits, fear, patience, contentment, boundaries, and decision making. So if you're out there thinking money is just a commodity or paper or some metal coins or whatever, you need to change the way you look at money. Okay? I'm not sharing this because I made it. I decided to share this because I feel I am finally walking in the right direction. And if you're out there and you decide you're not going to reset those things, like I said, I'm sure I'm not the only one who makes decisions out of fear or out of anxiety. So if you don't do that, if you don't reset, it doesn't matter how much income you get, because it means you're simply giving your fear or your anxiety a bigger budget. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad to be afraid. We all have fear and it comes from a certain place. But we should not allow it control our finances or money, because you'll end up making the wrong decisions. Okay? Don't give fear that kind of power. Do not. And you can't make it in one day. It's a process. Otherwise, I would have already made it. I'd be in heights that I wanted to be, but I'm still growing. I'm still learning as I go. Okay. And I allow myself to grow. Over time, things get better. It doesn't change all at once. But what I don't want is to be afraid again about money, or to be anxious again about money. That's something I don't want for myself. Whether emergencies arise, it doesn't really matter. Whatever happens, I want to be okay. I want to be calm. Okay? I want to know that I can handle that storm. Now, let me know. If you hit reset today, let's say you decide to reset your life, to reset your finances. Yeah? What's the first financial habit would you leave behind? We don't necessarily have to have the same financial habits. We all have bad financial habits. Everyone. Okay? There's people who drink every weekend. That's bad financial habits. There's people who do a lot of impulse buying. That's bad financial habits. Okay? There's people who lack financial boundaries. That's bad financial habits. So let me know. If you decide to reset today, which bad habit are you willing to break and why? If you'd like to share also how it has cost you, that would be nice. Okay? You can tell us on the comment section. I'll be glad to read about it. Okay? Well, I hope that helps someone. I really do. Because fear won't get you anywhere. Fear paralyzes you. And you don't want to be paralyzed financially. So, well, that's it for us today. I'm Miss Mwethati, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.